Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Tiger Paws. So, to report on this month's board meeting is actually pretty easy. It was a fairly routine meeting. The only action that the board took prior to going into closed session was to approve the disposal of two buses that are old and we don't need anymore because we purchased the other two last month. But then after closed, we did come out and the board did hire two new teachers for next year, one of which is a person who's pretty familiar to the ROVA environment, which is an alum, Charlie Gibbons, who will be our sixth grade social studies teacher next year, taking that place that was created by moving the sixth grade over to the junior high for next year. Charlie is an alum, and his family is a big part of ROVA as it is, and we look forward to having Charlie on board. The other person that the board also hired was Aaron Willits, and Aaron is familiar to some people. Whenever Mr. Gallstrand moved into being the transportation director, Aaron moved into covering Mr. Gallstrand's classes. One thing I could say about Mr. Willits is he brings to the district some additional certifications, such as in weight training. So he will be primarily looking at running our weight room next year. And also, in addition to that, as I have talked to students after the transition away from Mr. Gallstrand and into Mr. Willits being in the classroom with them, some of the students, many of the students I've talked to have really enjoyed Mr. Willits and like having him as a teacher, and all of them had positive things to say about him. So we think it's a great addition. One other thing that did want to talk about that's not particularly related to the actions at this month's board meeting, but is a program that was implemented about 3 years ago, is the board does now have three student ambassadors on it. Those student ambassadors are students that have been selected by the board to sit on the board and provide input to the board whenever they are discussing matters of interest to students. And there is a process for students to get on into those positions. That process actually is starting right now for next year. So if you have a student who would qualify, and I'll go over those qualifications in a minute, if you have a student who would qualify that you think would be interested, please ask them to send the application in, and that will come to my office. But the three members of the students who are on the board, one of them is a senior, and that senior is the same as the junior who was on it the previous year. So this year, Alyssa Mers is the junior who's on the board. She will continue as a senior into next year. Then each year, the board selects a sophomore or a rising junior, someone who will be a junior next year, and a rising eighth grader, so a current seventh grader, to also be on the board. Because the other two positions are a junior who will serve a 2-year term and an eighth grader who will serve a 1-year term. So if you have a current seventh grader or a current sophomore who might be interested in having some input into what happens within the district, encourage them to apply. And those applications have been shared with them. They've been emailed out to them, and they are due in mid-April, about a week before the board meeting for next month. And then next month, the board will interview the applicants and select the two. Anyone who does apply but does not get selected is also considered to be a part of another program that I started 3 years ago, which is the Superintendent Student Advisory Committee. This is a group of students that currently there are about 10 students on that committee. We meet once a month, the week before the board meeting, and it's a direct conversation from them to my office and to me about concerns and issues. We've talked about a variety of things over the last 3 years, and we've taken action on a great many of those that I think if you were to talk to the students who have been a part of that, I think they would say that it's been a great and positive experience for them. So anybody who does apply to be a student ambassador to the board and is not selected will be considered to be a member of the Student Superintendent Advisory Committee. So that is another option for them, that it's quite likely that they will be involved in some way, even if the board does not select them. As part of that application process, though, just so you're aware, What they have to do is they have to fill out an application that includes information about the activities that they're involved in at school and some of them outside. They also have to write an essay on why they're interested in being on the board and how they think they could contribute. And then there is a set of interview questions that the board will ask. They do receive a copy of those questions in advance. We're not trying to create a situation where the students are nervous or have a lot of anxiety over the process. So if they are after they apply, I will give them a letter that invites them, gives them an approximate time of their interview, and in that letter will be a list of the questions the board is going to ask. And that way they can prepare to be able to answer those questions. In the interview will be myself and the 7 board members, and then when the board comes out of that closed session, they will announce that night who the students are that were selected. If the students choose not to stay, that's not a problem. I will notify them the next day, regardless of whether they are there or not. So it is a program that we are really proud of and that we look to continue for a long time to come. And I think that it's something that's positive for our students and an opportunity for them to participate in the government process for the district and to also have an opportunity to have a direct line to the superintendent and to be able to give me feedback on things that they feel needs to be addressed. In addition, again, we welcome Mr. Willits and Mr. Gibbons to the staff, and we look forward to starting the year with them next year. Thank you for allowing us to continue to serve your students. And as always, if you have any questions or comments or issues, please feel free to reach out and contact my office either through email or by phone. Thank you and have a great day.